Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at something that's pretty interesting,
Yeah.
the intersection of cryptocurrency and Donald Trump's return to the presidency. We've got a whole bunch of sources here that we're going to try to unpack today.
Okay.
We've got crypto news sites, we've got market analysis pieces,
Right.
and even some opinion pieces.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little bit,
Spicy.
spicy is a good word.
Yeah.
So we'll be navigating serious financial news alongside meme coins and
Yeah.
Trump-themed crypto events. So this is not your typical finance deep dive.
It really isn't. No, this is a really interesting one.
Yeah, so
A very particularly potent mix.
it's a potent mix, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to help you understand how Trump's policies might be impacting this wild world of crypto and what it all could mean for the future.
All right.
So I guess first and foremost,
Yeah.
the big news is this pro-Bitcoin stance that Trump seems to be taking. There are several sources, including Crypto Daily, are reporting that he's planning to sign an executive order making crypto a national priority for the U.S.
Wow. A national priority, huh?
That's a pretty big statement.
So that would be a really strong signal.
Yeah, and it's a level of government support for crypto that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Right?
It's unprecedented, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
states like Wyoming and Massachusetts
Oh, wow.
are proposing Bitcoin investments for state funds.
Okay, so it's not just talk. It's actually, like, action.
That's right. They're putting their money where their mouth is, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Or they're proposing to.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal, right?
Mm.
I mean, we're used to seeing governments being wary of crypto, but this feels like a real shift.
What do you make of it?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure what their motivations are. I mean, is this
Yeah.
a genuine policy shift?
Yeah.
Or is it just like they see a trend and they want to get on board?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. But
yeah. It's certainly a sign that mainstream acceptance is growing,
yeah.
whether it's a genuine policy shift or just a temporary trend.
Right.
I guess that's something we'll have to watch closely because the implications for the industry could be huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole thing with Marathon Digital, which is a Bitcoin mining company.
Yeah, I heard about this.
They actually inscribed Trump's image on the Bitcoin blockchain.
What?
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Is it a PR stunt? Is it a political statement?
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty strange.
Yeah.
I guess it could be seen as a shrewd marketing move,
Uh-huh.
just capitalizing on the news cycle.
Right.
But it also speaks to this intertwining of crypto and politics,
It really does.
which is something we're seeing more and more of these days.
Yeah, and I think that's something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder how much influence these political figures will have on the crypto landscape moving forward. Speaking of influence, let's talk about market reactions because Bitcoin surged above $100,000
Wow.
on this news.
That's incredible.
And some analysts are predicting it could hit $180,000 by 2025.
Really?
So is this just hype,
Hmm.
or are we actually seeing like a fundamental shift in the market?
That's a good question, and I think there's definitely a lot of optimism fueling this rally.
Yeah.
Some of it might be speculative, but we also can't ignore the potential for real growth.
Right.
If Trump's policies create a more favorable environment for crypto in the U.S., which seems to be what he's aiming for,
Yay.
that could have like a ripple effect globally.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Bitcoin either.
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin stocks,
Hmm.
like Coinbase and MicroStrategy, are also seeing a significant rise.
Wow.
And betting markets are putting the odds of Trump creating a Bitcoin reserve in 2026 at around 70%.
That's pretty high.
It is pretty high.
Yeah.
So what should people make of all these predictions?
Well, I think it's important to remember that predictions are just that, predictions. The crypto market is incredibly volatile
Right.
and influenced by so many different factors.
Mm-hmm.
So while those figures are interesting, they shouldn't be taken as guarantees.
Right.
It's crucial to stay informed and do your own research.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got government support.
Okay.
We've got a surging market. We've got a whole lot of hype.
A lot of hype.
But what does this all mean for the average person?
Yeah, that's the real question, isn't it?
Yeah. Is this something they should be paying attention to even if they're not actively investing in crypto?
I think so, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, why?
Because even if you're not buying Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency,
Right.
this is a movement that has the potential to reshape the financial world as we know it.
Okay.
So understanding at least the basics of crypto
Right.
and its potential impact is becoming increasingly important, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
So let's dig into that a little bit deeper then. One of the most significant developments we're seeing is this growing institutional adoption of cryptocurrency.
Right.
Major players like BlackRock and Fidelity
Yeah.
are investing heavily in Bitcoin through ETFs.
Wow. So the big boys are getting involved.
Yeah, they are. And then Crypto.com even secured a MiCA license, allowing it to operate across the European Union.
Okay.
Now, for those who might not know,
Right.
MiCA stands for Markets in Crypto Assets, and it's this new regulatory framework in the EU aimed at harmonizing rules for crypto asset service providers.
I see.
So that's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a big step towards legitimizing the crypto market and
Yep.
making it more accessible to
Right.
institutional investors.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is that it's not just about Bitcoin anymore. We're
Oh.
seeing institutional interest
Right.
in other crypto assets like Ethereum.
Yeah. And a leading Italian bank just invested $1 million in Bitcoin.
Wow. $1 million, huh?
Yeah, this isn't just like a fringe movement anymore, right?
Seems not.
So what are the potential implications of this institutional involvement?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah, does it pave the way for broader adoption, or does it introduce new risks?
That's a crucial question. And I think on the one hand,
Okay.
institutional involvement can bring stability and credibility to the market.
Uh-huh.
It can also make it easier for everyday people to invest in crypto through regulated channels like ETFs.
But there's got to be a but here, right?
Yeah, of course, there are potential downsides to consider as well.
Okay.
Increased institutional involvement could lead to more centralized control of the market,
Right.
potentially contradicting that whole decentralized ethos that initially drew many people to crypto.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what about the potential for market manipulation? Could these big players exert undue influence on prices?
I think that's definitely a risk to be aware of.
Yeah.
You know, as with any market,
Right.
when you have large players with significant capital, there's always that potential. However, I do think it's important to remember that the crypto market is still relatively young and evolving.
Right.
So I think we're going to see a lot of changes
Yeah.
and a lot of,
Developments.
developments and regulations and things like that.
So it sounds like there are both opportunities and challenges
Okay.
that come with this institutional adoption.
Mm-hmm.
So what should listeners be paying attention to as this trend continues?
Well, I think it's really important to pay attention to how regulations are evolving,
Okay.
both in the U.S. and globally, because we're seeing a lot of movement on that front, and it will likely have a significant impact on how this institutional involvement shapes the market.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would say keep an eye on how these institutions are actually investing their money.
Okay.
Are they diversifying their portfolios beyond just Bitcoin?
Right.
Are they engaging with DeFi projects?
Hmm.
These actions can give us some clues about the future direction of the market.
It's almost like we're watching this new financial system being built in real time.
Exactly. It's really fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, before we get too deep into that,
Okay.
let's take a step back and talk about the wider crypto landscape beyond Bitcoin.
Okay.
Because let's be honest,
All right.
there's a whole universe of altcoins out there.
Whole universe.
That's right. And some of them are pretty wild.
Yeah, some of them are really out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got meme coins making a resurgence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dogecoin and Pepecoin are actually outperforming the market average.
Huh. Interesting.
It's a good reminder that the crypto market isn't always driven by,
Logic.
logic or fundamentals.
No, not always.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah, social trends, hype, even memes can have a significant impact on prices,
Yeah.
especially in the altcoin space.
Especially in the altcoin space, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not all just memes and speculation, though, right?
Oh, of course not.
I mean-
there are.
Some altcoins are seeing legitimate growth based on technological advancements and real-world applications. Yeah, absolutely. Solana, for instance,
yeah.
saw a price surge after reports that Trump is considering it as a potential reserve asset
Alongside Bitcoin.
alongside Bitcoin, yeah.
So even with all the focus on Bitcoin, it seems like Trump's influence could extend to the altcoin market as well.
It certainly seems that way, and I think that's something to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got XRP, which hit a 7-year high recently,
Oh, wow.
despite that ongoing SEC lawsuit against Ripple.
Which is great. That's a perfect example of how news and speculation can really drive the market.
It really is.
What's the story there? I know the SEC has been cracking down on certain cryptocurrencies,
Right.
claiming that they're unregistered securities.
Yeah, the SEC actually filed an appeal against a court ruling that said that XRP is not a security.
Oh,
So that just adds another layer of uncertainty to the whole situation.
it does. And it seems like this whole regulatory landscape is constantly shifting.
It really is.
which can be a bit overwhelming even for people who follow this stuff really closely.
Yeah.
You've also got Senator Cynthia Lummis threatening legal action against the FDIC
What?
over alleged document destruction related to crypto regulation.
Oh, wow. I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, it's wild.
So that just highlights the complex and often contentious relationship between governments and the crypto industry.
Yeah, for sure.
On one hand, you've got governments trying to protect investors and prevent illicit activities.
Right.
But on the other hand, you've got these proponents of crypto who argue that too much regulation stifles innovation.
It's a balancing act.
It really is.
And it seems like there's still a lot of uncertainty about how things will shake out in the long run.
Yeah, definitely.
So what should people be watching for in terms of regulatory developments?
I think the SEC's actions are definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Their stance on whether certain cryptocurrencies are securities
Right.
will have major implications for the industry.
For sure.
I'd also say look out for any new regulations regarding stablecoins.
Mhm.
These are cryptocurrencies that are pegged to the value of fiat currencies like the US dollar.
Right.
And they've become super popular lately.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we're going to see some movement on that front as well.
So we've got this exciting, innovative, and volatile world of crypto,
Yeah?
but we've also got this looming regulatory cloud hanging over it.
Right.
How do we, as investors or just curious observers, navigate this complex landscape?
Well, that's a really good question. And I think
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting to learn about this stuff?
the most important thing is to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism
Okay.
and a commitment to continuous learning.
Okay.
Don't buy into the hype or get-rich-quick schemes.
Right.
Take your time to understand the underlying technology,
Mm-hmm.
the risks involved,
Yeah.
and the potential implications of regulatory changes.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all the excitement.
Yeah, especially when you see those prices soaring.
Well, especially when you see Bitcoin hit 100,000.
Exactly. But I think it's crucial to remember that this is still a relatively young and experimental space.
Right.
There will be volatility, there will be setbacks, and there will be scams.
Unfortunately.
So due diligence is key. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's good advice for any investment.
It is, yeah, diversification is crucial.
Yeah.
And remember, you don't have to be a trader or an expert to participate in the crypto world.
Okay.
You can just observe, learn, and see how this technology evolves over time.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best investment is in knowledge.
It really is.
Now, speaking of investments, let's circle back to the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Or maybe I should say the former president of the blockchain.
Yeah.
Trump's return to the presidency has undeniably shaken things up in the crypto world.
Uh-huh.
But what are the long-term implications?
Well, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
It's too early to say for sure what the lasting impact will be,
Right.
but we can speculate based on what we've seen so far.
So let's speculate.
Okay.
What are the potential scenarios here? Could Trump's presidency usher in a new era of crypto adoption? Not just in the U.S., but globally.
It's certainly possible. I mean, his pro-crypto stance could encourage other countries to follow suit.
Right.
We've already seen some movement in that direction.
Yeah, like El Salvador.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as legal tender.
And other countries are exploring the use of blockchain technology
Right.
for various applications,
Yeah.
from supply chain management to voting systems.
It's amazing how many different applications there are for this technology.
It really is.
Yeah,
But on the flip side, you've got these regulatory concerns.
right.
If the U.S. cracks down on crypto, it could have like a chilling effect
Yeah.
on the global market.
That's true. The U.S. still holds a lot of sway in the financial world,
Yeah.
and their actions can definitely influence other countries.
Right.
It's a delicate balance
Yes.
between fostering innovation and mitigating risks.
Yeah. And it's a balance that will likely be debated for years to come.
Oh, absolutely.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think the key takeaway here is that the intersection of crypto and politics is
Mhm.
becoming increasingly complex and impactful.
Yeah.
Whether you're an investor, a tech enthusiast, or just a concerned citizen,
Right.
I think it's important to stay informed about these developments and
Yeah.
think critically about the potential consequences.
Because this is a story that's still being written,
It really is.
and the choices we make today, both individually and collectively, will shape the future of this technology
Right.
and its role in our world.
Absolutely.
Wow. It's amazing to think that we started this deep dive talking about Donald Trump,
I know.
and we've ended up covering so much.
Too much.
From meme coins to institutional adoption,
Yeah.
regulatory battles,
Right.
the broader implications of blockchain technology.
Right.
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface.
It really does highlight how interconnected all of these aspects are.
It does.
I mean, Trump's return to the presidency might be the catalyst for some of these recent market movements, but these underlying trends and challenges,
Right.
they go way beyond
I know.
any single political figure.
It's like we're witnessing a paradigm shift in finance, isn't it?
Mm,
A move away from those traditional centralized systems
yeah,
towards something new,
right.
something decentralized
Yeah,
and potentially more empowering for individuals.
exactly. And think back to Marathon Digital inscribing Trump's image on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Right.
It might seem like just a publicity stunt,
Yeah.
but it's also a really powerful symbol of
Yeah.
how this technology is challenging the status quo.
Yeah.
That image, that data, it's
Uh-huh.
permanently etched into the digital record.
Yeah.
It's beyond the control of any single entity.
It makes you think about how those power dynamics could shift in the future.
It really does.
What happens when individuals have more control over their own data, their own finances?
Right.
That's a question that goes way beyond the world of crypto
It does.
and touches on everything
Yeah.
from social media to healthcare.
And we're already seeing these ripple effects.
Yeah.
Look at the explosion of NFTs in the art world,
Oh, yeah.
or the rise of play-to-earn models in gaming.
Right.
These are all powered by blockchain technology,
Man.
and they're changing the way we think about ownership,
Right.
value, and community.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting all at the same time.
It really is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with a final thought to ponder.
Okay. I like it.
What if Trump's presidency is just the tip of the iceberg?
Mm.
What if we're on the cusp of a global crypto revolution?
Whoa.
Imagine a world where digital assets are widely accepted,
Okay.
where you can send money across borders instantly
Right.
and for a fraction of the cost.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where your financial data is truly yours, securely stored on a decentralized network.
That sounds pretty good.
It does sound pretty utopian,
Yeah.
but is it actually achievable?
That's the big question.
What are the biggest hurdles we'd have to overcome?
Well, for one, I think we need to see continued progress on the regulatory front.
Okay.
Clear, consistent, and innovation-friendly regulations are essential for mass adoption.
For sure.
I think we also need to address concerns about security scalability
Right.
and environmental impact.
Yeah, those are all big issues.
They are.
And maybe most importantly,
Yeah,
we need to bridge this knowledge gap.
definitely.
Right now, crypto can feel intimidating
Yeah.
and complex to a lot of people.
Right.
So things like education and user-friendly interfaces,
Yeah,
those things can be crucial for bringing this technology to the mainstream.
absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
And there will definitely be some bumps along the way. But the potential of this technology is undeniable.
So where do you stand? Are you ready to ride this wave of the crypto revolution?
I think so.
Or are you content to watch from the sidelines?
I'm ready to ride that wave.
All right. Well, the choice is yours. But whatever you decide,
Yeah.
stay informed, stay curious,
Uh-huh.
and stay engaged.
Absolutely.
The future of finance is being written right now,
It is.
and it's up to all of us to shape it.
I agree with that.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into this fascinating intersection of crypto and Trump's return to the presidency.
Wow, that was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
But I hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking,
I did.
and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
Yeah, me too.
Until next time, keep exploring,
Yeah.
keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Sounds good.